Welcome to the Daily Millwall for the 19th of December 2020. And today it was a Saturday and it was a match day. And Millwall played out a 1-1 draw at home to Nottingham Forest. And if you saw the match, you'll probably know, but if you didn't, it was another one of those games where we were the better team. We had better chances, and we probably should have just edged it and should have just won, but we didn't. It was another draw. And what you can see here is the stats from the info goal website from the game. You see here the what info goal does is it's a stat website that it's heavily based on expected goals. Their big thing is expected goals. If you look at the top here beside the shirts, you'll see expected goals. What that is the shots you have, the quality of the shots, and where they would expect a goal to be scored from that type of shot. And here you can see Millwall's expected goals for that game was 1.12 and Forest's expected goals were 0.67. So we were just under twice as good as them on expected goals. And you see here, when the second half started, we got the goal from Tom Bradshaw with some good work from John Daddy Bodvarsson running down the side. And then straight after, they just played a loop, high ball over the top towards Lewis Grabham. He couldn't, because it was too fast for him. He couldn't control it, so it just hit him, and he just fell into the path of the other Forest player, the Mighton. So they scored a goal, and they didn't really have any other chances apart from that one. You can see here percentage. 51% Millwall to 49 Forest. We had 5 attempts on target. We had 4 attempts off target. We have 6 blocked shots. And Bart didn't even make a save. But the Forest keeper had to make 4 saves. So he tells you what kind of game that was. It's one of those games where we had the better of the chances. We kind of dominated it in terms of going forward, but we couldn't score, couldn't put the ball in the net apart from the one time. We look down further down on this website, the info goal website, you'll see passes pretty much even there. Completed passes, we had more completed passes than them by a fair bit. There's tricky conditions out there today. There's pissing down with rain. We had 5 corners, they had 2. Offsides, 1 each. Fouls, pretty much of a muchness. Yellow cards, they had 4 yellow cards, we had 2 yellow cards. And most of them come in the first half. The referee was a bit card happy. I think after the first 20 minutes, 4 players had yellow cards. It was one of those games where you think, oh, someone's going to get sent off in this game, but they didn't. Didn't happen. If we look, we go to the lineup for this game, and we look down to the Millwall players, and you see the players in green here with the green rating. That tells you who the better players were according to the stats. The way this info goal website works out the stats, it's based on passes completed, tackles, shots on target, that kind of thing. And what they've done, they've given Dead Wallace man of the match 7.73. Close behind him is Sean Williams 7.64, and then Bradshaw 7.44, Bodvarsson 7.19, and Bennett was 7.00. And most of the defence is in the mid to low 6s. Hutchinson 6.1 and Cooper 6.67. That tells you more about the type of game that was, where our attackers were doing the better of the play, having the better of the things. They just couldn't put the ball in the net, apart from the one time that Bradshaw did. If we go to this here, this website also does, like I said before about the expected goals, it's based on the chances, the shots on target, and what type of will most likely lead to a goal. So these are all Millwall chances here. You've got this the big blue circle. That was Tom Bradshaw's goal, and that was a 50% chance of that going in, because it kind of pinged towards him pretty quickly, and he had to get it sped in towards his feet, and he had to like kind of dance over it and just kind of move his feet out of the way of the ball rather than striking the ball. So that was a 50-50, that one. But that was the goal. You see, we had 4 other chances inside the area, and all these little percentage chances from way outside the area. There's one from here, way out there. That was Jed Wallace. 4% chance that was going in. That was in the 29th minute. But let's scroll down and take a look at Forest. They basically had similar type of chance to us. That was the goal, Myton. That was a 50-50, that one. That was the goal. And then they had one more chance inside the area, and 2 chances outside the area. They only have 4 shots on goal. So you can see we dominated that game, and we just couldn't get the chances into the goal, which seems to be how it's going for us this season. So let's have a look at the South London News Online, which goes under londonnewsonline.co.uk, and they got a story from the interview of Gary Rowett after the match. And it says, Millwall manager Gary Rowett was once again left ruining a lack of composure in the final third as they drew 1-1 with Forest today. Tom Bradshaw had converted John Daddy Bodvarson's low cutback in the 47th minute to put the Lions ahead, but Alex Myton notched his first senior goal for the visitors as he coolly chipped over Bart Biakowski as he dived at the feet of the Forest attacker. Rowett said, It was always going to be a tight game against one of Chris's sides. They were always very, very organised and were coming off their first win in a while. You expected their tails to be up, and they've got good attacking players to start with Amiobi and Graben, and then to have the luxury of bringing Knockhart and Taylor on, as well as leaving Lolly on the bench. It would be quite nice for us to have that luxury at that stage of the game when you're chasing it. He goes on, we performed pretty well on the whole. In the first half we were very, very aggressive and dominated territory without creating as many chances as we'd have liked. Forest's half chances came from us losing our shape and desperation to get forward and not showing enough composure, not taking enough time to move them around. I asked them at half time, could we play both sides of the game and make sure we had a bit more attacking threat when we got into those positions, and we started really well. John Daddy showing his growing confidence, fabulous run for the goal to go 1-0 up so early. You feel that's a massive moment to open up a tight game. And he carries on. Then you know Forest have got to come out and lose their shape, and it gives us other opportunities. The one thing you don't want to do is to make a poor mistake very quickly afterwards, and we do. It's a really poor goal for us to concede. One ball does both our centre halves, and whether Marlon passes Myton over to Archie, I'm not so sure. I don't know. It says, but certainly we can't concede a goal like that. It's a gift to Forest when they haven't broken us down with good play. But then we respond really well. We've played Bristol City last game and they've had 4 shots. We've played Forest, who have some brilliant attacking players, and they've had 4 shots. We've had about 15 or 16 shots. We've got to start being more clinical because we looked the side in the second half, if any, that was going to win it. Apart from the last 5 minutes when Forest kept breaking into the areas that were a little bit of concern. Jed has a moment where he should put the game to bed, probably. It maybe shows a lack of confidence in those areas. He gets slotted in by John Daddy. It's a brilliant incisive pass. The fullback steps up, which gives Jed a little more time. In his mind, I think he decides he's going to play Bradders in, which is probably the wrong option. And 99 out of 10 or 100, he goes on and scores past the keeper. I'm pleased overall with the performance. We just needed a bit more composure and to be more clinical to turn those draws into wins. So Gary Rowett basically saying what I was saying there. We dominated the game attacking wise and we just couldn't put the ball in the net, which is a shame, you know. So that was the results and the fallout from the game today. Shame we couldn't win it. But let's move on to the next story. The next story is from the Millwall website, and that's Rob Strachan joins Welling United on loan. And that's the under 23 player, under 23 defender, is going to Welling United on loan for a month. And he's got his first game. They're playing in the National League South, and his first game will be Tuesday's fixture at home to Havant and Waterlooville. And I think you often get these types of things happening this time of the year because the under 23 team has, unlike the first team, they have like a 3 or 4 week winter break, and the under 23 should be playing on the 22nd of December in a couple of days on Tuesday, next Tuesday. But we don't know with all this tier 4 stuff where they're moving London into tier 4 and other places. Maybe that might get called off, we don't know. But after that game on Tuesday, if it happens, the next game is on like the 12th of January. There's a 3 or 4 week break where the under 23s won't be playing any games, just training. So sometimes during this time of year they send them out for a month, and that looks like what's happening with Rob Strachan here. He's going to Welling United on loan for a month, so it's a good loan. That good standard in National League South. We'll see how he does there. Moving on to the next story for today. The final story is the Acting Millwall podcast has produced this calendar, and it's got these sort of pen picks. If you ever been to a non-league game and you've read the program, you know they have little pen picks, which is basically a biography of the players. And Acting Millwall's made a calendar of pen picks of really, really old Millwall players from like the pre-war era. So basically the kind of players that not really many people alive now, even if they're really, really old, like in their 60s or 70s, will probably never have seen these players play. They may know the names, but they probably won't see them play. And you can get this calendar. It's got obviously 12 players on it. It's got Jack Cock, it's got Wally Davies, it's got Jack Fort, Bob Hunter, Bert Lipsham, Charlie Hewitt, and each player's got a picture, and it's got a little biography on the side there, which it's only 12 quid. It's a nice little Christmas present if anyone wants to buy it for anyone. It's being sold on the Millwall Sports Club website. Just go it's www.millwallsupportersclub.co.uk and just go and click on the store, and you'll see it on there if you're interested in that. It's only £12, and all the profits will be split between the Demelza Hospice and Millwall Community Trust. So it's a pretty decent present and a pretty decent donation to charity during these tough times, you know. You could do that if you're interested in that. And that concludes the Daily Millwall for today, the 19th of December 2020. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.